It started with a silence that spoke louder than any headline. When Jimin finally addressed Jungkook in a recent emotional statement, the entire BTS fandom froze. What was meant to be a brief mention turned into one of the most heartfelt moments of his career, a confession that not only peeled back the layers of his friendship with Jungkook, but also left millions of ARMYs around the world in tears. What did Jimin really say that made even the calmest fans break down? The moment came unexpectedly. During a recent military broadcast appearance, Jimin was asked about how he stays connected with his BTS members despite their ongoing service. His answer, quiet yet piercing, carried the weight of years of unspoken emotion. There are people, he began slowly, who you don't need to see every day to feel close to. Jungkook is one of those people. The room fell silent, and so did the internet a few moments later. Within minutes, clips of that moment spread across every social media platform, turning into a global wave of emotion. It wasn't the words alone that struck fans, it was the way Jimin said them. His voice trembled slightly, eyes lowering as if he were holding back tears. For ARMY, it was an unmistakable sign. Behind the strong image of BTS's beloved vocalist lies a depth of attachment and longing that goes beyond ordinary friendship. Analysts in the Korean entertainment industry quickly noted how Jimin's tone reflected a rare vulnerability. One entertainment columnist even described the moment as the most honest expression of Jimin's emotional state since BTS's hiatus began. The emotional weight of his words didn't stop there. Jimin continued, adding softly, "I think about him often. He's doing well, and that makes me proud. We don't talk all the time, but you just know when someone still understands you." That simple statement, "you just know," was enough to ignite an avalanche of fan interpretations. ARMYs filled online forums with heartfelt messages, calling the moment a confession without needing the word love. Behind this seemingly simple remark lies a deeper reality. Both Jimin and Jungkook are enduring the strict discipline and isolation of military life, far from the spotlight that once defined their daily existence. For idols who once shared stages, hotel rooms, and the weight of fame together, being separated for the first time in over a decade is more than just a physical distance, it's emotional turbulence. Many fans have noticed that both have subtly referenced each other through Weverse posts, playlist updates, and even song recommendations, suggesting that their bond continues to echo quietly beneath the surface. Industry insiders say this connection is one of the most genuine dynamics within BTS. Jimin and Jungkook's relationship has always been marked by trust, said one former HYB staff member who worked with the group before enlistment. They balance each other. Jimin's emotional depth and Jungkook's steadiness complement one another in ways that are rare in the idol world. That understanding was visible long before their military service. From their debut days, Jimin often protected Jungkook from the pressures of being the youngest, while Jungkook consistently praised Jimin as his emotional support. When fans look back at their performances and behind-the-scenes footage, every glance, every laugh, every quiet moment between them now feels heavier, filled with meaning that fans are only just beginning to fully appreciate. After Jimin's emotional revelation, ARMY communities worldwide began sharing compilation videos of their most touching interactions. From Jimin fixing Jungkook's microphone during a live show to Jungkook's tearful words about how much Jimin meant to him. Comments flooded YouTube, TikTok, and X, formerly Twitter. "This isn't just friendship anymore. This is family." Another viral comment read, "Jimin's words remind us that love doesn't need to be loud to be real." The wave of emotion grew so large that even Korean media outlets began running segments analyzing Jimin's statement. Cultural critics suggested that such openness from an idol in military service was rare, even unprecedented. One analysis piece on KBS noted, what Jimin expressed wasn't just nostalgia. It was a form of emotional transparency that resonates with fans living in a world where vulnerability is often hidden. And then came the most poignant part. Near the end of his segment, Jimin smiled faintly and added, "When this is all over, I want us all to meet again. The members, ARMY, everyone, but especially him. I think he knows what I mean." That single line broke the internet once more. Fans began trending hashtags like hashtag Jimin and Jungkook forever and hashtag Jimin confession, turning the moment into one of the most emotional fandom events of 2025. Psychologically, this moment also underscored something deeper about the BTS phenomenon, the human side of global icons who, despite the fame, remain bound by the same emotional threads that tie ordinary people together: love, distance, and longing. Jimin's words cut through the glamour and reminded fans that even idols have moments when they simply miss someone. Now, weeks after that statement, the emotional aftershocks still linger. Every time fans revisit that clip, they hear more than just Jimin's voice. They hear years of shared memories, unspoken gratitude, and quiet affection between two brothers who have walked the same impossible road. In the world of K-pop, where image often outweighs sincerity, Jimin's confession stands as one of the purest and most unforgettable moments of 2025. ChatGPT belong. And yet, as the emotional storm surrounding Jimin's statement continues to ripple across social media, one pressing question remains. Was it all real? Could such a powerful confession truly have unfolded in the middle of a structured military program? Or has the global machinery of media, fandom, and virality shaped this story into something larger than life? It's a question worth asking, especially in an era when emotion spreads faster than facts, and every clip, word, or tear can become a symbol long before it is confirmed. Fans across the world have watched the footage, analyzed every frame, and shared their interpretations with tears and trembling hands. But have we, as consumers of this information, paused to verify it? Was Jimin's emotional tone captured as it truly was? Or has it been amplified by endless edits, captions, and fan interpretations across TikTok and Twitter? The line between genuine emotion and dramatized narrative grows thinner each day, and perhaps that's what makes this story so powerful, yet so dangerous. Several social media accounts claimed the statement came from a military broadcast aired in a limited segment, yet no official source has verified its full transcript. Could it be that fragments of words, taken out of context, have been stitched into a more dramatic picture than what actually happened? Or, conversely, could this moment be exactly what it seems? A rare, raw admission from one of the world's most private idols? In a world saturated with algorithms and attention-driven storytelling, truth has become a fragile thing, shaped as much by what we want to believe as by what is actually said. Still, it's undeniable that the emotional resonance of this confession has united millions of people. Armies didn't just watch a video, they felt it, they shared it, they cried over it. But here's the deeper question. Are we reacting to Jimin's truth, or to the story we've collectively built around him and Jungkook? Every fan interpretation, every slow-motion edit, every background piano added on TikTok, all of it reshapes the narrative in real time. So, when we cry for Jimin, are we crying for him, or for the version of him we've created in our digital imaginations? Perhaps this is where critical thinking becomes more important than ever. In a media landscape where virality often outweighs verification, emotional content spreads precisely because it bypasses logic and hits the heart. When an idol as beloved as Jimin shows even the slightest tremor in his voice, the world rushes to assign meaning. But what if that meaning is misunderstood? What if the so-called confession was simply an innocent statement of camaraderie, not a coded message of longing? What if ARMY's tears are the result not of truth, but of narrative manipulation? And yet, even if the story were exaggerated, does that make the emotion less real? That's the paradox of modern fandom. The line between reality and collective imagination blurs until both begin to feel equally authentic. Fans feel connected not only to Jimin's actual words, but also to what those words represent: brotherhood, loss, resilience, and love in its purest form. Maybe, just maybe, the power of this moment lies not in its factual accuracy, but in its symbolic truth.